Mark Daly for PVA News Online with the two gentlemen who lead the organisation Paralyzed Veterans of America, the National President of Paralyzed Veterans, Army veteran Bill Lawson.
Sure.
Bill, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. And Homer S. Townsend Jr., the Executive Director of Paralyzed Veterans, a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. Homer, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well.
65 years of changing lives and building futures. It's hard to imagine all those years ago that group of men coming back from World War II and thinking about an organisation and roll on 65 years and the things that you've achieved. What is the secret of the organisation's success, Bill?
The success of this organization is members helping members. That's the whole key to this thing. We do a lot of peer counseling that engages other disabled veterans, paralyzed veterans to come in and also to help. It's just a great organization that everybody, because when they become a member, they see what we stand for, and they're all for the cause. And it just inspires everybody to really want to work hard and keep our organization going well.
So, Homer, it's veterans helping veterans for many decades now, and I suppose everyone has a story about how they got involved in Paralyzed Veterans of America and how the organisation helped them live a full and productive life. You're a great storyteller. How did you get involved in the organisation?
Same way Bill talked about. Laid in bed after my initial injury, and a gentleman came by and started talking with me. I found out later on that he was with New England chapter. He was a member, came by just to see if I needed anything, see if they could help me in any way. And I thought to myself, this must be an incredible organization, because this guy seems to have it all together. He seems to have his life, in order. He was an older gentleman, which made me feel really well, because we had been told at the time that the life expectancy might not be be able to live a full life. So, that made me feel more comfortable, and there was a movie a few years ago called Paying It Forward, and I think that's what our organization does. I think the uniqueness of our organization is the fact that when we have an issue, we don't just cry to the world about our issues. We offer solutions to the problems and suggestions on how to take care of the problems. Now, the 65 years is a wonderful thing, but it's a double-edged sword. We would have hoped by now that we would have put ourselves out of business, by finding a cure and being able to get a lot more accomplished than what we have. Not to say that we haven't, but from the beginning of PVA, we were hopeful that we would be one of those organizations that we would be able to sunset ourselves, because our mission had been fulfilled. And it hasn't, and that's why we continue to fight so hard to make sure that our members get everything that they can possibly deserve and need.
So paying it forward, Bill, is a very important part of the secret of Paralyzed Veterans of America's success over the last 65 years. I better say to the listener viewers of this podcast that we're at the 65th Annual Convention of Paralyzed Veterans of America this week in Houston, Texas. And Bill Lawson, I know that you and Homer traveled literally and metaphorically across America during the month of April, which of course is Awareness Month, from DC to LA and pretty much back again and all over the country. And of course Homer on the radio and in the media across the country. What are the messages that you got from the American public about her veterans and the way that America is treating her veterans right now?
The American people care about their veterans. They really do. I engaged a lot of conversation with people that are not members of PVA about some of the issues that PVA faces and our members face every day, and they were very compassionate and willing to try to help to see what they could do. The one thing that I asked them to do was just for one day imagine themselves in our place and imagine the difficulties that we face every day. And then I asked them, after they've done that and they realize what's going on, make it their mission to help paralyzed veterans, help us help ourselves. By them helping us, we in turn help ourselves. And I think that was the vision of our founding fathers 65 years ago, was an America that was fully accessible, that took care of their veterans, had quality health care in the VA, one of the other important things now is jobs for the catastrophically disabled veteran. Right now, the employment rate for a catastrophically disabled veteran is about 85%, and that's unsatisfactory. And I carried that message to these people when I toured across America, and I believe that they understood. We've just got to get them more engaged to help us help ourselves and start employing a lot of these veterans.
Homer, let's say that I'm a veteran. I'm watching this podcast. I've just got back from Iraq. I'm spinal cord injured. Don't know what to do with myself. What is your message to that man or woman who's given so much for the country? What would you say to them?
Come join the PVA family. One of the things that has made PVA stand out for all these years is that if we don't do it, who's going to? We have to do it. It's up to us. So that veteran laying in a bed, I would tell them, first of all, take a look at our service officers so that we can help you make sure that you get your benefits. Take a look at our sports program so we can draw you out so that you understand that you have a full and productive life ahead of you. And take a look at what we supply as far as jobs go. And take a look at going back to work. We can take care of your medical needs, we can take care of your personal, social needs, and we can take care of your job needs. That's what PVA does. We don't look at a person and say we can help one part of them. When you join PVA, you join PVA forever.
You know, before we end this conversation, you know, I sometimes like to think that as one works at PVA and becomes part of that family, there's a lot of smiles and there's a lot of tears involved in it. But there's some tremendously funny stories as you go across America and you meet people. I know, Bill, that there was quite a funny story. I remember when we were on tour during Awareness Month, the young gentleman who had had a birthday.
Yes, I'll carry that with me for the rest of my life. He was a newly injured veteran, and at that time in his recovery, he was on oxygen, and he told me a story about that. He said, you know, I had to spend my birthday in this hospital in rehab, and he said I was really kind of down in the dumps. But then all of a sudden, here comes my family, and they have a birthday cake to surprise me with, and it's full of lit candles. And here I am on oxygen, and I keep telling them, no, go away. And they didn't quite understand why. And finally, I was explaining to them that, you know, I'm on oxygen, and I thought to myself, I'm going to get blown up in this hospital. And today, he sits there and just chuckles about that. I mean, he can really see a brighter side of that now.
Right.
And he shares that and just rolls and laughs. And it's quite funny.
Homer, you must have a few funny stories, I would say, up your sleeves over the years. Is there one that pops to mind that you want to share with the viewers?
Well, when I was first injured, they moved me out of intensive care and they put me on a ward with 19 other people that were less fortunate than myself. Their disabilities were quadriplegic. And so I couldn't understand why they did this. And I eventually realized that what they expected from me was it's awfully hard to get down on yourself and depressed when you look on either side of you and the person that's laying in that bed doesn't have the capabilities, you know, that you have. And what actually happened because of that is that I wound up being the person that would get out of bed in the middle of the night and take care of whoever needed something. And it got to be a routine where they were, you know, saying, Homer, we need this, we need water, we need this, and I'd get out of bed. But I realized that what they were actually doing for me is it doesn't make you feel as bad when you realize that you have a lot more going for you than you ever thought that you did.
Well, gentlemen, congratulations on 65 years of, as we say in our tagline, changing lives and building futures. Thank you for your service to the country on behalf of everyone who's watching this podcast, and many decades of future success in your endeavours to do all of the things that you need to do for our veterans with disabilities. Thank you.
One last word from Bill and myself. Get involved.
Yes.
PVA can use your help. Get involved.
Okay. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Get involved in Paralyzed Veterans of America. As Bill says, make helping veterans part of your life's mission. And we'd love to have you help us in whatever way you could. Gentlemen, thank you very much, and congratulations again, and good luck with this week's convention.
Thanks, everybody.